How are we doing, federal employees? I was kind of hesitant to make this vlog, considering that I feel like I could get in trouble for speaking my mind about these things. But as many of you know, we've gone through yet another shutdown, and I just wanted to share some words of encouragement to my federal friends, my fellow employees. Um, First off, you're not a leech. You're not something that needs to be drained. You're not a cancer that they need to stomp out. I understand how hard you all have worked, the sacrifices that you've made. I've worked with many of you for years. For those who don't know, I'm a logistics management specialist at the FAA. So I am very, very important to travel and helping people travel safely. I mean, our whole mission is to protect the global national airspace. So um, I feel like I'm a good person to share their perspective on this thing. And I just want to tell you guys that I understand how crazy this is. A lot of us have given up high paying salaries, um, jobs with cushier titles for security, and most importantly, to serve the American people. And for that, I want you guys to know that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of myself. I've given up a lot in my life. I've gotten up early, 5 a.m., more times than I can count. And, you know, I don't want to make this a political thing because we all know the real reason for this. We all understand the stakes and why we're being treated the way we are. But what I want to tell you guys is no matter if you're a TSP millionaire or you're an intern trying to get a permanent position in the government, I know what this feels like. I know how hard it is to look at your years of service and to be faced with impossible decisions. Do I get up and drive 50 plus miles to sit in a cramped office because a couple people who have never worked a day in their life in the government tell me that I should? I understand how hard it is to make these decisions. Should I stay? Should I leave? Should I join the private sector? I'm facing them myself. I know a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Um, Maybe your years of service don't match how much you make. But I just want you guys to all hang in there. You know, I'm sorry that this is happening to you. I'm sorry that this is happening to me. But you're not a leech. You're not a cancer. I know how hard you all work. I've worked. I know the things that you guys have done, they haven't always been professional. Sometimes you had to work outside of your job scope. Sometimes you had to do somebody else's job that you knew nothing about because you were on a detail or you were doing backfill. Like, I get it all, man. But I don't want you all to feel like it was for nothing because it wasn't. You took care of a lot of people, sometimes at the sacrifice of your own families, sometimes at the sacrifice of your own health. And, not to get religious, but God knows. Forget what they say politically about who or what we pray to. But the sacrifices that you made, they're not in vain. My mentor, somebody that I respected a lot, he died from brain cancer about a year or two ago. But he was sick the entire time he worked. Not the entire time, but in the later stages of his career. And I really looked up to him. He was never the type of person to take his illness out on other people, and dang sure not the American people. And he worked up until the day he died. I'm sure you guys have people in your office that you remember. Maybe they retired, maybe they had to drag them out in a body bag, but they gave their lives for the American people. Another one of my mentors, served in Vietnam and was one of the first employees to join the FAA. And he told me a story about the original cable networks that they laid down for what would become modern air traffic. Man, he said there were no guides, there were no books. It was just a couple of guys taking their Saturdays and Sundays to lay wires all across the country, and a lot of them were African American. So I don't know about the whole DEI thing, but we're not gonna get into that. Those histories and those stories are what make up the government. What a lot of people don't understand is that there are very few training manuals in the government. If you've ever worked in the government, you know that the knowledge is almost given to you like how those old storytellers would do it. The person who came before you passed on all their knowledge and it went to you. And then you took that torch and you ran with it. That's what Russell Vought and Donald Trump and JD Vance and all these other people who are attacking us don't understand. But we know the truth. They can rift us, they can throw us out like garbage. But the simple fact of the matter is they're just losing a wealth of knowledge. So I don't want to get into pointing fingers or blame because honestly, we're past that. The people have chosen their president, and unfortunately, we all have to deal with this choice, whether you like it or not. But I want to give an encouraging word to anybody out there that is struggling, that is stressed out, that can't sleep. I'm right here with you, man. I have given everything to this job. I came in when I was 25, an intern, came back as a contractor, not to extend, and then got extended and came back. And that was because of the kindness of my other mentor, a woman who has selflessly given everything to this country. You know, I used to come in for the 6 a.m. shift, and she'd be at her desk at 5, and I would leave because I worked 4 10s. I would leave at 4:30, and she'd still be there working, unpaid. And she did this for years. She's still with us, but she moved on to another sector of the government. But I got stories like these for days. Um, I've worked with people who've never missed a day of work. I've worked with people who have, never been late. I worked with people that have given everything to the federal government. So, to those of you out there who say, oh, just fire them, they're a cancer, they don't matter, they don't work, that hasn't been my experience. And I know those of you out there that have worked for the Fed, this hasn't been your experience either. So I wanted to do something fancy with like a lot of editing and, you know, glitz and glamour, but I'm really just trying to speak to the people who have been affected by this. And I really hope that you guys are all okay. I really hope that you all are taking care of yourselves and trying to get through this. So we'll get through it. Keep focusing, keep meditating or praying or whatever newfangled thing they're telling you to do to get through. But to all my federal employees, thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you've done for this country. Thank you for everything you've done for the American people, whether they know it or not. And I wish you all good luck in your endeavors. My advice to you is to continue to pray to whatever God you pray to. Um, drink a lot of water. And one thing I do know is someone once told me that the government was like a really old house. It's been maintained by different people, each of us, all of us, in Congress, the presidents, the employees, and what they're doing right now is ripping up floorboards and demolishing walls. And this house is really, really old. It's an antique. And if you've ever worked with really old, old antiques, you can't be rough with them. You have to be delicate. And that is what they can't do. So just take solace in knowing that it's not your fault. You're not to blame. I understand you're driving 2, 3 hours a day to come take care of this old house. house, but you do it with pride, you do it with dignity, and you just let them keep wreaking havoc in the house. Eventually, we all know what's going to happen. So, good luck to all of you, my fellow federal employees. I'll see you guys on the other side.